Hey, are you here?
You keep going.
Wait, what do you mean I keep going? What do you mean? It's the after party. I'm so wound up from like when we finished Scandival and Vanderpump Rules. I just feel like I should be making a drink, and I'm not. So that's good. What the hell are you doing over there? We're doing an after party. You look like you're like doing a research paper for school about science. Oh, I think you're muted.
Better.
Oh, that's so much better. Look at that. Here we go. Let the party begin.
Oh, can I say really quick, you guys, for an after party, for OC, for getting into all of this stuff. I was sitting here and I was trying to get it together because we have so much to go off of tomorrow. And I was like, let me get into it for the recap with Ricky Cornish tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern.
Yes.
Then we have Hot Messy Topics on Friday. We have completely reconfigured how we're doing members only. And Jason's birthday is also on Friday. So, hi, thank you for unmuting my mic. Welcome
It's
back.
been like, man, it's been a lot of week, or a lot of week. It's been a weird past week and a half, 2 weeks. So I'm glad we're here. Listen, Marisol in the live chat said, "What would you rate this episode?" She gave it an 8. So guys, if you want to rate the episode because honestly, this was like, I don't know. I thought it was a great episode.
Yeah.
Thoughts?
No, I would probably give it a 7. Listen, there was a lot of drama in this episode, and I think OC is really on the verge of saving their franchise, which I'm hopeful for. I still think Taylor Armstrong was a huge filler. I think we could have done better. At that point, I think they should have just brought Vicky back.
Well, here's the thing.
Or
I feel
Kelly
like they hit a reset, right? They hit a reset of like, okay, we needed someone new. We brought in this Jen girl who I like. Like, I think she's great TV already. You know what's so crazy? Let me just start us off like this really quick. Is I think that like Jen, this new Jen, like when she's with Tamara at Cut at the beginning of the episode, they just have something. It's like a little bit of magic. You know what I mean? And then you have like, I don't want to harp on Gina because I do like Gina and she offers, a different dynamic and like someone our age. And it's like, okay, that's cool too. But I don't know. There's just no magic, There's no.
For Gina, what it is that it's still not. It's almost like when we had Leah McSweeney on The Real Housewives of New York, and she was living still like a very attainable
I would take
life.
Gina any day.
I think what the difference is though is like even when you go in Tamara's home and you go in Taylor's home, and even if you don't love the style, you still see these big over the top like grandiose homes, right? So I think that when you see somebody like Gina who's a little bit more like kind of again like has more of an attainable lifestyle, might be living in a
relatable.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's
listen, I don't even think
More
that's relatable, to be honest, but whatever.
Well, I mean, let's please not forget it's still Orange County. Like what she's living in is still expensive as hell. And
Right.
raising like what, 500 kids in that house? No.
I don't too many. Too many. God, crazy though, but I do feel like honestly, Adam, I feel like I've been the first 2 episodes I was like, okay, let's see. And the first one I'm like, okay. Second one I'm like, all right, And then today, well, you were watching the other episode right before this new one came on, and all I heard upstairs was like Tamara like, ah! And I'm like, that's kind of annoying, but at the same time, it's really good to have her back.
It's really good to have her back. I'm not going to lie. Janet, your mother said happy birthday to you tomorrow.
It's not tomorrow.
Janet's like, they gave me, listen.
Lord have mercy.
Janet's just happy it's your birthday.
Yeah.
Another person asked, Toaster JB, how old is Jason?
40. It's the big 4-0. It's like, what did they used to call it? Over the hill? I remember. Do you know what I remember going to my mom's over the hill? It was in Salt Lake. And we did this over the hill thing for her. And I'm like, this is crazy. Like, she's old. And now I'm sitting here with you on YouTube. And I feel old too.
I remember 40 years old for my mom. And I remember making her a MySpace profile.
Oh, yes. And what song did she have for her MySpace profile?
Oh, it was Promiscuous Girl.
Promiscuous Girl.
That's what it was.
Lord have mercy.
Okay. I think it was that, and I think it was Hips Don't Lie by Shakira, but I picked, listen, I ran this account. But let's get back to it.
Good son, yeah.
Let's get back to it. Okay, so what were some of our biggest takeaways from this episode, aside from...
Well, I'm looking at the live chat, Adam, and it says like 7s and 8s for like how people are kind of feeling about how this is going, and I would have to agree. Marisol, thank you so much for the super chat, by the way. You guys don't have to do that. I appreciate you guys so much, though, but thank you. And that's makes me feel special.
Oh, thanks, Marisol.
Jen, thank you so much for the super chat. Listen, we start off with Heather. Well, kind of Emily, Heather, and it's so weird because the first thing I looked at you and I'm like, wouldn't it be nice if there was like sixes of us just sitting around the table, ready to eat? Like literally, they have like their forks
Oh, the private chef.
and just telling, "Hey Nick, what are we having tonight? We're hungry." It's like, is this like the Brady Bunch of the OC on drugs? It's
You
just,
know what's so wild is that Andy Cohen always says every time like a new housewife it comes out and it's like they're so broke, and like even for Erica and Jen and Kim Zolciak, he always says like I always wondered how did they get their money and how do they have. I wonder the same thing for the DeBros. Like I understand you do
what do you mean?
surgery, but if like Dana Wilkie and so many other people are questioning, and we love Dana, right? But she made a great point when we did a recap, like what, 2 years ago when we were covering Miami. And she was like, I get that Lenny is the boob god of Miami, but how does he afford an $80 million home on Star Island? And I'm
Here's the
sure
thing,
that they made plenty of investments, but it's really wild.
I think like when you're good with money and you know how to utilize money. And thank you so much, Sue. Thank you for the super chat. We appreciate you. Thank you guys. You guys are awesome.
Thank you,
I
Sue.
realize we're kicking it off. Like it's I think,
Kicking it
4 in a
off.
row. So we're slowly getting over that hill. Like I understand what she's saying, like 100%. Like, but when you're good with money and you put money in the right places, it works. You know what I mean? Like a lot of
I
people were
get it.
questioning Anthony's money from the Real Housewives of Miami, but they have like investments up the wazoo. You know
That's
what I
true.
mean? So, the more money you make and the more money you invest, and who knows their private life? You don't know what they do, you know?
I was also a little shocked about I was and I wasn't, because we know that Heather ended up using the other Heather from selling Sunset to buy her house in Los Angeles.
Oh
And I believe
yeah.
she bought like a condo, like a penthouse. It was between anywhere from 12 to 16 million dollars, something like that. But you could see in this episode where she was like, I feel like LA's calling me again. I think I need to go back. And it does make me wonder, especially after hearing everything we heard from this season, and she was already gearing up to go there, and what she said at BravoCon. Are you setting yourself up to go over and maybe do a franchise crossover, just like Taylor did? If Taylor did it, why can't Heather do it?
I
And
mean, like,
Heather
why
would
not,
be
I guess,
perfect for
right?
Beverly Hills, by the way. Heather would be perfect.
Yeah. I mean, she would. She'd hold her ground there just fine. I mean, you have Garcelle's also an actress and Erica's a performer. And yeah, it'd be it would be interesting.
Or hey, no.
Or someone else might be coming back. We don't know, Who knows? Yeah. I don't know. It's a pretty solid right now. We have a pretty solid watchable show. And the fact that people are enjoying it already, I think is pretty interesting. But
I thought it was funny in this episode too, when we are still on the boat and Tamara's like, you can tell her to go duck. Go duck. And they're like, who says go duck? And I'm like,
that
oh my
is
God.
so
I
like
literally
late
grew up.
80s, early 90s.
I grew up with my mom saying this all the time.
So did I.
Like, go duck. And then, I don't know. You see Tamara this season, it's just interesting. And you see where she tells Jen that, like, before we get into all of this, Jen ends up going over to her gym and you can see where she's super upset. But I like how Jen's telling her, listen, you were really shitty. And she's being a good friend here. You know who she reminds me of? Jen Fessler on New Jersey with Margaret Josephs.
Yeah.
Right? And she's being a good friend and she's like, you really f***ed up here. And then all of a sudden, Tamara's like, you know what? I think I should apologize. You're right. I f***ed up. And then she goes, by the way, Jen, I just want to tell you that you hurt me at one time when you put me in an awkward predicament. And it's like, wait a minute. How the hell did this just turn around on her?
Yeah, I don't know. It's pretty crazy. It was funny just like getting kind of the backstory of Jen and Tamara, especially when they were over at Cut. And then Jen even, I don't know. This is a weird dynamic. We've seen this many times before in Housewives where you have like Jen and Tamara or someone else and someone else. They start off as friends and they bring a friend onto a show and then it like twists and turns and burns.
It never
right?
lasts. The friendship
It
never lasts.
no, and you're already seeing it. Like already Jen, like being at Cut Fitness, like banging the wall down is like, hey, you were really drunk last night. You were livid. You were annoying. You went too far and you told her to fuck a duck like 15,000 times. Like, you know what I mean? So you're already seeing kind of like a divide as we went throughout the episode,
It is interesting too to see Gina now, like as we pan over and seeing her with her dynamic, which you like you said, there's not like a whole lot of magic from having her on the screen because I think it's just, I think the show is just a little bit older than she is. I think that's the only issue.
Mm.
But it is interesting to see that she's like breaking into real estate now, and I'm like, Henny,
Oh my God. Do you
you and
remember that test?
so many. Oh yeah, I hated real estate.
Do you know
I
the
thought it
first
was the most
question?
fascinating and the worst thing ever because it was
Oh my God, it's the
fascinating to see
worst.
people's like beautiful homes. Worse because you're
Yes.
dealing with people's over the top, like you're dealing with people's biggest investments, guys. People
I feel
eat
like
you
our
alive.
biggest claim to fame is getting Trent Reznor a rental. Like
Oh
there
my
wasn't
god, I
really
still don't know who that is.
9 Inch Nails, right?
Still
Am I
don't know.
wrong? That's 9 Inch Nails.
Maybe.
Yeah. But I didn't know at the beginning either. Remember when we were like set up to do that? You know what? It's so crazy though. Is it's such a it's first of all it's competitive. It's very oversaturated, kind of like skincare and everything else. But like it's just a weird. It's weird to watch them like sit there and test each other because if you don't know the answer, it's C. Like we did a crash course. Like we sat there and we studied books for I don't know how many months, Adam, and we didn't get
Oh, I took
crap.
the test right before you, remember?
Yeah, no, like
And
two
we went
months
down to,
before
was
me.
it San Diego?
San Diego. No. Oh, yes, San Diego. And then I took it in Orange County, remember?
Yeah. And then
Yeah.
you drove up and I was like fake crying and you're like, "Oh
Yeah.
no." And I was
Yeah,
like,
that was
"Passed
crazy.
it, bitch."
It's a
Yeah.
hard listen, it's a
It's a
hard
really hard
test.
test.
It's a really, really hard test. I
Oh.
remember going in and like this girl next to me was like, "Is this your first time?" And I'm like, "Yeah." How many times have you done it? And she's like, 5. And then we get on the elevator together. And you know how like you're supposed to hold it shut, like your results, you're supposed to hold the envelope shut until you get out of the building. They don't want anyone to open it and like cry or be like, "Yes, I got it," and you didn't, you know? And this girl I was on the elevator with who had like failed like 6 or 7 times, she was like opening it. And I'm like, "Oh my God, are we doing this? Should we do it?" I'm like, "Did you pass?" And she's like, "Oh man, no." And I'm like, "It's 7 times. Like, like call it a day."
It's
You
time to
know?
call this one a day. Yeah, I remember too. You know, it's so funny that you said that because I thought you were stealing my story for a second because that happened with me when I was in line. And then I
Everyone
remember,
asks you.
okay, I
No, no,
remember
no, not
walking in.
you, but like in general, like, is it your first time?
Oh, yeah, yeah. Judy
Yeah.
Goldfarb, happy 40 years, Jason. You are very
Thank you.
special.
I
And Toaster
appreciate it.
JB, happy
Thank
birthday,
you,
Jason.
Toaster. Thank you,
You guys are
Judy.
the best. Guys, I love you all. I don't know what this new spelling of Jason is. This is,
Some people, some Jason spell it like that.
is it? Oh.
That's not
All right.
mine, but some people spell it like that, you know?
Well, what did you think about Tamara being so quick to apologize to Shannon? Because this was interesting to me too, because this was like, oh, I fucked up. I can't remember it. I was that drunk. But I'm like, wait a minute. Out of all of that, after all of that, after all of the ripping her head off, now you're just going to turn around and roll over and be like, I'm so sorry. I missed you. Like, what?
It's
Where the hell
crazy.
did
I
that
mean,
come
like, legitimately, it's crazy, but it, it was interesting. Yeah, it was interesting.
from? Yeah.
Very interesting. Why is Gina on there?
Well, because we love Gina.
Oh, interesting.
And they kind of look like sisters.
Sorry, guys. Sometimes Adam's not like awake at this time.
What the hell are you
Wake up.
talking about?
You're showing a picture of Gina. Why I'm like
I
you
brought up
got me
a picture
confused.
because Tamara was in the photo, and the other photo that I had was pixelated. So I brought up the one with
I
Gina.
know.
And
Save it
Gina's
for
also,
your recap. This is an after party. You're being too recappy. We
I,
just gotta like talk about
you
our
don't
feelings
get to
after the
run my life.
episode. I what?
Okay. So
Okay.
now let's pan over really quick.
Let's
As we're
pan
maneuvering
over.
through this, first of all, I want to talk about two things before we end up cutting this off, especially with that little attitude over there. I don't know what's going on, Janet, but your son's birthday tomorrow is about to be.
Well, you're doing a recap tomorrow at 1 p.m. with Ricky Cornish, so I didn't want to like do too much recapping.
No, we're
Kinda
not
just, like,
recapping. I just have two more things I
yeah.
want to address with you.
Okay.
Okay. One.
Okay, but so what I'm thinking is
Oh.
for your previous question, really quick, is I think that Tamara's trying to play the field right now, right? She just got back. We're episode 3. We're episode 3. We just got back. She's trying to play the field, find her alliances, find where she kind of fits in this new cast. She hasn't been around forever, you know? But I feel like that's why she's trying to hold Shannon a little close. I feel like these women, Shannon is someone she's like at this point like a staple. You know what I mean? So it would be good to be friends with Shannon.
Yeah, I think so too. And
Even though I
also,
probably couldn't be friends with her. She's annoying.
Yeah. Listen, I'll get back. I want to get back. Yes. I mean, honestly, I find them both to be slightly annoying.
Okay.
But I want to get back to it for a second too, because what did you think about Taylor Armstrong asking Heather for help with an acting
I
coach and then
know.
offering her a role and to come to Oklahoma out of her time? Like she has nothing but like I completely, by the way, agree with Heather Dubrow in this because especially if you're a professional, it's like I have a team to go through. You have to book me. I need to know, is it union? Is it non-union? I have a rate. Who's paying for me to get
I
there?
mean,
Am I
listen, you have to, yeah, especially if you're union, especially if you work with agents. It's not like, your friend doesn't be like, hey, the other girl dropped out. This isn't freaking cheerleading. You know what I mean? You can't just jump in at the audition and like come take her place in drill team. It has to be like, you have to be offered a role, audition for a role. I mean, I don't know. I mean, at that point, it sounds a little like low budget, but I'm not going to judge it because I haven't seen it. But you know what I mean?
It's probably low budget. Okay. And then also, when the hell did Tamara's son become a rancher? Did
I
we
don't know,
catch
but
this?
were you getting like Yellowstone vibes the whole time
I didn't even know that they had ranches there.
in California?
In Orange
Where the
County?
hell have you been? Yes, everywhere in California.
I didn't even know that.
Wow. I guess you
I
didn't live
mean,
there as long as I thought you did.
yeah, yeah.
Oh,
And
that's
also,
crazy.
okay, sorry. Before we end up capping this off, was it shitty of Gina to go and take the information that came from Jen posting on social media, bringing it to Heather, Heather saying table it, and then she still brought it to the table, which I just want to say really quick, even Emily thought it was out of character, but it really just seemed like Gina was like in her mind, oh, I have to figure it out this season. Like I better bring something. So sorry, girl, you were just celebrating your yoga studio being open
Oh,
while
the
your
whole
friends.
like yoga thing.
Yes.
I don't know. I listen. I think the whole like COVID challenge of doing something like when did we film this? When was this filmed?
Yeah.
It's been a while, right? It has been a while, but I'm trying to remember back to like sometime last year and like, are we still doing those like kind of challenge? Yay, we're open still. Is that still happening? Like I don't know. It just seemed like the timing was off, especially like posting that right before you go to like the closing for cut. Like you knew probably a week in advance you were going to that party. So why would you post that at any time during that week? Like where does it say do that?
Yeah.
you know?
No,
But
no, I completely agree with that. And also it's like, well, but then wait a minute. No, because if you're celebrating your business being open, then also just get out of your feelings. Like you girls are looking for a storyline. I would have said that if I were her right then and there. I mean,
yeah.
I probably would have been ousted right out of the gate. And you don't want to be too dramatic and be a Noella because then you're going to be ousted
Oh
right
my
out of
god.
the gate.
I don't miss Noella at all. And I'm
No,
not afraid to
not at
say
all.
that. I
I don't
really
miss
do not miss
Bronwyn.
her. I forgot Bronwyn was on the damn show. Like when they showed the flashback with Alexis Bellino and like, the whole like doing the dinner and kind of like getting cut off the ground. I was like, oh my God, holy crap. I remember that. If you showed
Yeah.
me a scene with Bronwyn, I'd be like, I don't know if I was paying that much attention to the show while she was on it because it was just so like, left field, right field, left field, right field. You never knew where to freaking look with her. Like one day she was this, now she's that. Now I'm
A
doing
little bit
this,
of
now I'm
this,
doing that.
a little bit of
A
that.
little bit of
A
this, a
little bit,
little bit
a
of
little
that.
bit of that, a little bit.
And then you had Noella come in and it was just like a firecracker in like the worst way. Like you light it, it's not going off, it's not going off, and then all of a sudden it goes, and you're like, ah, it's just crazy. It's crazy.
Okay, sound effects.
I'm
All
just
right, guys.
saying.
So listen, Jason did want me to be super mindful because as we're going through the first few episodes of the season, we're all still getting to know each other. So I do want to keep a lot of this for the recap. I just slid my hand across, and I'm sorry if that just gave you guys a loud noise. I apologize.
Uh,
But we're going to keep a lot of this for the recap with Ricky Cornish tomorrow. That's going to be at 1 p.m. Eastern. But we have a lot more coming this week, including hot, messy topics. And then we have a fun surprise for what we're going to be doing for our members only. Back to a weekly situation. It's just going to be a little bit of a different format. Jason came up with it. I think it's genius. You guys are going to love it. And we will let you know, keep you posted either on Hot Messy on Friday, on Jason's birthday, or in the community tab.
yes.
But Jason, before we go, do we say anything?
I mean, I don't know because I'm so I have so many thoughts on the show tonight. I don't know. I'm ready for the recap tomorrow for sure.
Yeah, I think we're ready. We have to digest. And also, one last thing I have to say to your mom is his birthday's on Friday, Janet.
Okay.
Okay, I'm just kidding, Janet. I love you. All right, guys. Thank you for the super chat, super stickers, and thank you to everybody in the live chat. We love you guys, and we'll see you tomorrow with Ricky at 1 p.m. Bye, guys.
Bye. Good night.